Now we move on to Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is now focused on disarming Hamas and demilitarizing Gaza. The shift comes after the return of the last hostage from the Palestinian territory. Speaking at a televised press conference, Netanyahu has said Hamas must give up its weapons and dismantle tunnels across Gaza. The US-backed ceasefire in effect since October 10th requires Hamas's disarmament in its second phase. Furthermore, Netanyahu has reiterated that the conditions of Hamas disarmament must be met before any further steps are taken. Now for this discussion, we welcome back Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev. He's a former Indian diplomat, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, how do you analyze the alignment of U.S.-Israel? As you know, it seems like U.S. is pushing for phase 2, whereas Israel seems to be pushing for the Hamas disarmament first as a priority.
It's a good question, and I think the two sides, Israel and United States, are acting in tandem. While Israel has delayed opening of Rafah border, which was under phase 1, claiming that the last remains of its last hostage had not yet been handed over. This was done a couple of days ago, leading to Rafah border being opened. But at the same time, Israelis have raised new objection, saying that Hamas has to be demilitarized and people have to, the Hamas people have to surrender their weapons before phase 2, which involves board of peace and stabilization force and aid, etc., being given to Palestinians in a tangible manner would be considered. So Israel is using its veto for the second phase to push for disarmament and de-weaponization of Hamas and associated groups that have fought Israel for nearly 2 years, ending in the ceasefire last year. This could not have happened without United States approval or cognizance, and I believe that the Board of Peace and International Stabilization Force and funds being arranged for reconstruction in Gaza are all tied to disarmament of Hamas and its associates and de-weaponization of the territory. So this way, both Israel and United States are acting as bad cop and good cop, and the whole idea is to put further pressure on Hamas and show it to be an obstructionist element in getting the stabilization and reconstruction of Gaza being undertaken. The idea is to put pressure on Hamas, but also to show to the affected Palestinian citizenry in Gaza and elsewhere, the Arab countries, that Hamas are the villains and Israel and United States are the good parties. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And do you think that, how do you analyze the reality of the fact that even though ceasefire was brokered in October last year, a lot of deaths have happened, in Israel and Gaza even since then? And do you think that there is a misjudgment from the government side or US and whoever has brokered peace between them, that the reality on the ground might be different. As you know, Netanyahu says that the tunnels need to be dismantled as well, etc. But on the ground, there's nobody except Hamas who is taking control of these Gaza's people.
You are right. Of course, the ceasefire has led to marked reduction in hostilities. Hamas, towards the end, had already gone into a defensive kind of posture vis-a-vis Israel, and Israel was ascendant, taking pot shots at Hamas and its cadres and the associated structure. All that has come down remarkably, but still Israeli actions have led to hundreds of Palestinians in Gaza being killed, as the local authorities' accounting is concerned. This was not unexpected. At the same time, I think Israel also wants to show that it didn't fight for 2 years only to allow Hamas to regroup and rearm themselves and launch attacks later on. So it wants to continue putting pressure, continue trying to create obstacles to Hamas's resurgence to the extent possible. And I think in doing so, it has the United States support. And it adds further pressure onto Hamas through military actions that they should agree to fade away and disarm and have some kind of amnesty being offered to them and relocation outside Gaza. At the same time, I think it is to be expected that these kind of skirmishes after the ceasefire would have sent a different kind of message to Hamas and associated groups that Israel's aggressive posture with regard to them and non-compromising stance with regard to Hamas makes it imperative for them to have sufficient deterrent military equipment beyond personal weapons to make sure that they can, if push comes to shove, inflict some long-term damage to Israel and its citizenry through rockets, through missiles, and other equipments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, I would like to thank former Ambassador Mahi Sachdev for joining us today and sharing that insight throughout our news.